Dear students, let us discuss today the second part of the gene mutation, that is induced mutation. Uh, First, try to understand some terminologies that are very much helpful in understanding the mutation, that depending upon the kind of the change in the base sequence, you know that the bases of the DNA are mutated during the mutations. So, depending upon the kind of change in the bases, you have the following types of the mutations. So, we have discussed earlier also, one is the substitution, where one base is substituted by other, which may be of two types, transition or transversion. Then there is a frame shift mutation, in which a base is either inserted or deleted. Then sometimes you have the nonsense, missense and the same sense mutations. Let us see them, that substitution is the replacement of one base with other. If this purine is changed for other purine and pyrimidine is changed for other pyrimidine, it is called transition. And if purine is changed for pyrimidine and pyrimidine is changed for purine, then it is called transversion. We have discussed it in the earlier topic also. Now, when you are changing only single base, what is happening? Let us look at the effect. Because you know the three bases of the DNA, they form a code, and one code means one amino acid. Why? Because DNA after transcription will form the messenger RNA. The codes of the DNA will be copied on the messenger RNA, and the code of the messenger RNA shall be translated into amino acids. Amino acids will join together to form a polypeptide chain, and the polypeptide chain will be a protein of the individual, which will represent some characteristic feature of the individual. Because you know maximum the individuals, the organisms, their constituents, their cells are made up of the proteins. Either they have the enzymes for the functions, and the structures also are made up of the proteins in majority. So, it means if you are changing the protein, then the characteristic feature of the individual will be observable. So, say for example, because you know every triplet code of the DNA is responsible for one amino acid. Say for example, what will happen, that if you are having this triplet code, cytosine, thymine and thymine, once C, T, T are present in the DNA, and on transcription, cytosine will have the guanine on its opposite end on the messenger RNA, thymine will have the adenine, and this thymine will also have the adenine. This is the normal case, and the guanine, adenine of the messenger RNA will make up the amino acid glutamic acid. Say for example, only one base is changed because of the substitution. What will happen? Say for example, instead of thymine, adenine is added over there. What will happen there? Because cytosine will have the guanine at its opposite end, because you know the pairing is between cytosine and guanine, thymine and adenine, and in case of messenger RNA, you do not have thymine, you have the uracil instead of adenine. So, adenine will incorporate uracil in the messenger RNA, and thymine will incorporate during transcription adenine in the messenger RNA. Now, what is changed over there, that guanine is similar, adenine is also similar, but the middle base is changed over there. It was adenine in the normal case, but due to substitution, no, it is uracil. So, because this guanine, uracil and adenine will not code for the same amino acid, it will code for the different amino acid, that is valine. This is how that the transition in the transversion, that the substitution of the bases with one another leads to the change in the amino acid, and thereby they change the polypeptide chain, and as a result the characteristic feature of the individual will get changed. Then you are having the frame shift mutation. When mutation alter the entire reading frame of the message. What do you mean by the reading frame of the message? Say for example, is DNA is having bases on it, TAC, CAT, TAG, ATT. So, this is the reading frame. This is the reading frame because when messenger RNA will be formed, then it will be complementary to it. Opposite to T you will have the A, opposite to A you will have the uracil, C will have the guanine. So, it will be, then the messenger RNA will be read by the ribosomes and the amino acids will be added, because each triplet code means a amino acid. So, ribosome in the cell will read this message present on the messenger RNA, because messenger RNA was transcribed from the DNA. So, it means you can say that the code of the DNA are translated basically into the proteins in the form of the amino acids. So, when the entire reading frame of the message is changed, in previous case we have discussed only substitution of the one base, but if whole of the frame, so if for example only adenine is substituted by another one over there, so only this code is changed, rest code are same. In the previous case we have discussed. So, only change will be observable only due to change in this code, but sometime what happens, there are certain mutations which change entire reading frame. So, this is called the frame shift mutation. So, how it happens? Say for example, it happens because of the two reasons, either because of insertion or because of deletion. Say for example, you delete C from it. So, when you delete C from it, so what will happen there, that TAC is okay, CCA is okay. So, CCA, sorry, insert C. So, where you have inserted C, you have inserted C over there. So, what is happening over there, TAC is normal, but because C is inserted over there at this point. So, what will happen, now the code is changed, now the CCA is triplet code, earlier it was CAT, and T of this will join with next. So, TTA will be the next code, and this G will join with the next, because one code is inserted over there. As a result, once you form the triplet code, whole of the triplet code next to it will be changed. So, you will have the GAT, and this T will be separated from it and will go with the next code. So, insertion of C over there has changed the reading frame of the next portion of the DNA. So, this is how that entire frame, entire message is changed. So, this is called the frame shift mutation. Similarly, you just delete T from here. So, what will happen over there? Okay, TAC is there, CAT is there, and here you have deleted T. So, it means instead of TAG, T is deleted over there. Now, the triplet code will be AGA. So, AGA is there, and this double T will combine with the next base and will form the triplet code. So, how again you can see, after insertion of the T at this point, next portion of the DNA is affected. So, this is the frame shift mutation, because this mutation will be shifted from one triplet code to other, and then to next, because whole of the frame is changed either of the because of deletion or insertion. So, this type of mutation is called the frame shift mutation. So, again, because whole message is changed, so it means every change in the triplet code means a new form of amino acid, and once the new form of amino acid will be formed, so they will not resemble with the original message of the DNA which was present prior to this frame shift mutation. So, it means whole polypeptide chain will be changed, whole protein will be changed, and the characteristic feature of the individual will be changed. Then there are other types of mutations also, like nonsense mutation, missense mutation, same sense mutation. Nonsense mutation is a mutation which stops synthesis of polypeptide by producing a nonsense terminator. So, for example, in the triplet code a change has occurred in the DNA which was otherwise this code in the normal case was coding for some amino acid, but say for example, code like ACT is formed. So, ACT will be transcribed in the messenger RNA in the form of UGA, because in the mRNA no thymine is there. So, opposite to adenine complementary base will be the uracil, and opposite to cytosine it will be guanine, opposite to thymine it will be adenine. You know, and again if ATC will be changed to UAG, because ATC code is formed and in the messenger RNA you will have the UAG, and if ATT is formed then UAA will be formed in the messenger RNA. All these three codes UGA, UAG, UAA are the stop codon. Once they appear in the messenger RNA, they will not it means the further reading of the messenger RNA will get stopped. So, say for example, if you are having a length of the messenger RNA and because of the mutation a portion within the messenger RNA is mutated to this code or this code or this code. So, what will happen that the translation of the messenger RNA will be stopped at the point where this message was where this message is read by the this ribosome. As a result, instead of synthesizing whole length of the polypeptide chain, it will stop in between. So, that is why it is called nonsense mutation. So, then you have the missense mutations. Missense mutation means when codon will alter a specific amino acid. Say for example, this codon is mutated to such a way that it is now acting like having you can say non-functional type of the polypeptide chains. Why it is so? Missense mutation change a codon which alter the specific amino acid in a polypeptide, often making the later non-functional. For example, if ACT if this was a code, say for example any other code, you take another code. For example, if you were having the UCG, say for example UCG was normally coding for say for example thymine for a amino acid, say for example glutamic acid, but the code is changed to such an extent that because of the change of the base, no, it is not translating in the form of the glutamic acid, it is inserting another amino acid. So, by inserting another amino acid in the polypeptide chain, what will happen over there, that the polypeptide chain will not remain normal. So, it will become the non-functional. So, that means the missense mutations. So, the true sense of the DNA code is not present over there because of the change in one of the triplet code. And then you have the same sense mutation. Same sense mutation means sometime you have, say for example, it was GCA code was responsible for the translation of the arginine, but it is changed to GCT. So, what change is there, that instead of adenine, now the thymine is there, but again GCT is again transcribing or translating for the same amino acid arginine. So, it means even after the change you are not having any change in the amino acid. So, the sense is same. So, it means it is the same sense mutation. So, nonsense mutation will terminate the translation in between, it will not lead to the translation of the whole of the polypeptide, whole of the messenger RNA into a complete polypeptide chain. Missense mutation will substitute another amino acid and which may make the polypeptide chain non-functional, and the same sense mutation will substitute another amino acid in the polypeptide chain, another not another but the same amino acid in the polypeptide chain, which we, so because the same amino acid is added, so it will not affect any morphological or physiological characteristic feature of the individual. So, it will not have the deleterious effect. Now, come to the induced mutation. So, we have already discussed in the previous lecture that the mutation which for which you know that which is the cause of this mutation are basically the induced mutation. Induced mutations are induced by some environmental agents, and these agents are called the mutagens. You may have the biological mutagens, physical mutagens and the chemical mutagens. Biological mutagens means viruses. Viruses do change the DNA. So, they are the biological mutagens. Physical mutagens means either you have the radiations like X rays, alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays, UV rays, because all these rays can break the DNA. So, they will change, they will induce the mutation, and the temperature also denature the DNA. So, it breaks the hydrogen bonding. So, again it can damage the DNA. So, damaging the DNA means inducing the mutation in the DNA. Then there are some chemicals like you have the base analog, you have intercalating agents, alkylating agents, hydroxylating agents, deaminating agents. All these agents basically alter the DNA structure in many ways. As a result, the mutation is induced. Let us discuss first of all the intercalating agents. So, intercalating agents are those agents which are present chemically in the form of a ring. So, they are the ring molecule and they resemble the ring structure of the base pairs. So, because they resemble with the ring structure of the base pair, what will happen that they will incorporate themselves, they will intercalate themselves, they will sandwich themselves between the stacked base pair. Say for example, this was the normal base pair, this was the normal base pair, but here you can say that this is a chemical which has inserted itself at instead of a normal base pair over here. So, because it is otherwise not a normal base pair, it is a chemical. So, this chemical will increase the rigidity of the DNA, and once the rigidity of the DNA will be there, it will lead to the break in the DNA, and once break in DNA is there, it means normal replication, normal transcription, normal repair of the DNA will not takes place. As a result, because of the rigidity and the break, you may have that some other base may get inserted at this place, or some base may get deleted from this very portion at the time of the replication. And you know, once the insertion and the deletion of the base takes place at the DNA, it will change whole frame of the DNA. As a result, it will lead to the frame shift mutation. You have the some chemicals like acridine, the proflavin molecules like the ethidium bromide, dioxin. These are the some chemicals which can intercalate themselves between the stacked bases of the DNA, thereby changing the rigidity of the DNA, thereby increasing rather the rigidity of the DNA and leading to the break in DNA and then the mutation. Then you have the base analog. Base analog means these are those chemicals which are exactly similar to the base. So, what will happen over there that because they resemble with the base, so they will come if at the time of the replication of the DNA, if these chemicals are available in the cell, they will be incorporated instead of a normal base. Now, what is the difference between base analog and the intercalating agents? Intercalating agent was inserting itself between the two base pairs, but the base analog will basically pair with the normal base, because it is similar with the its structure is similar with the normal base pair. We shall see, say for example, 5-bromouracil is one of the example and the 2-aminopurine is another example. So, because say for example, this 5-bromouracil is a basically say for example, in the enol form it behaves like the cytosine. So, in normal case the guanine must have the cytosine opposite to it, but the bromouracil is inserted over there because it is resembling with the cytosine. So, it is how that whole base pair is not changing, opposite to the normal base pair the chemical is inserting itself. This is how the base analog are different from the intercalating agents, which intercalating agent was present at the position of the whole base pair, but here only one base is getting replaced by another chemical. So, this is the base analog. So, normally what happen, because it is exactly resembling with the normal base pair. So, DNA polymerase at the time of the replication of the DNA will not be able to distinguish that this is a separate chemical, this is not the base analog. As a result, it will incorporate a wrong base at the positive. Let us look how it will be it will happen. Say for example, when bromouracil, you must remember that 5-bromouracil in its stable keto form pairs with adenine. So, in its stable keto form it pairs with adenine, and when it is tautomeric shifted to the it gets tautomeric shift to the less stable form enol form, it pairs with the guanine. So, let us look at in the A, if the bromouracil is in its less frequent enol form at the time of incorporation into DNA, it induced GC80 transition. How? Say for example, it was present in the less enol form, and we know that in its less enol form it will pair with the guanine. So, okay, instead of cytosine it has come opposite to the guanine and paired with the guanine, and when the next round of application will takes place, this guanine will have once this strand will become the will synthesize its adjacent strand in the next round of application, this will incorporate cytosine opposite to it, but bromouracil, because it was present in the less enol form, and you know the less stable enol form will not remain forever, it will get back to its more stable keto form. In the keto form it pairs with the adenine. So, the bromouracil will incorporate adenine opposite to it. Now, when this strand of the DNA will go the third round of application, what will happen? A will substitute T opposite to it. Now, you trace back other, it was GC, it was GC. Now, at the end instead of GC you are getting the AT. So, this is how that it has transition of GC to AT. So, in the other form, if the this 5-bromouracil is inserted in its stable keto form. So, in its stable keto form it pairs with the adenine. So, it will come opposite to the, if it is available in the cell at the time of application, it will come opposite to the adenine. So, what will happen over there? Now, you look at that this adenine will incorporate the diamine in the next round of application, but this bromouracil will get tautomeric shift to the enol form. In the enol form it will pair with the guanine, and now you look at this round of application that this guanine will bring cytosine opposite to it, and the bromouracil, because it is again in the keto form, and it will incorporate adenine opposite to it. Now, look at this now, it was 18 original which has changed to the GC now. So, now it has AT to GC transition. So, this is how that a chemical when get inserted instead of a normal base, because of its similar structure with the normal base, it will lead to the change in the DNA, that is from GC to AT transition and from AT to GC transition and vice versa. So, both of these changes can take place over there. Then you are having the alkylating and hydroxylating agents. You have some agents like nitrogen, sulfur, mustard, methyl and ethyl methanosulfate, nitrosaguanidine. These are the alkylating agents which transfer the methyl or the ethyl group to the bases of the DNA. So, when they will transfer their methyl or ethyl group to the base of the DNA, then these base will not pair normally, they will change their pairing potential, and once the pairing potential is changed, then transition and the transversion as we have seen in the previous slide will takes place. Some alkylating agents cross-link DNA strand, you can see over there that normally this base has to pair with this base, but because alkylating agents have transferred their methyl or ethyl group to these bases, no, they will cross pair with one another. So, it is not the normal pairing which was corresponding to the opposite base, no, it has cross linked the DNA molecule. So, this DNA molecule may be the cross link may be of the two types, either one strand base on the one strand may get cross linked with the base on the other DNA, other strand of the DNA which is not present normally at its opposite end, or sometime the bases of the same strand may get interlinked. So, this is the intra-strand cross link and this is the inter-strand cross link. So, once the cross link will be formed, then the chromosome break will takes place during the replication. Then you are having the hydroxylating agent also, like hydroxylamine, which will transfer the hydroxyl group to the amino group and change the pairing potential. Once, say for example, when the cytosine will get the hydroxyl group to its amino group, it will become the hydroxylamine cytosine, and hydroxylamine cytosine will not behave like normal cytosine. Instead of pairing with the guanine, it will pair with the adenine. So, it means GC will be shifted to the AT, or if it will be AT, it will be shifted back to the GC. So, this GC AT transition will takes place by having the hydroxyl group. So, because the hydroxylamine chemical present in the cell has transferred the hydroxyl group to the base, and say for example, cytosine, and it has changed the pairing potential, and so the GC18 transition is effected over there. Then you have the deamination. Some chemicals like nitrous acid, they do oxidative deamination of the adenine, so the DNA. Say for example, they may oxidative deaminate the adenine, guanine and cytosine. Once they will oxidate, they will remove the amino group from these, they will change them to the less stable enol form, and when they are present in the less stable enol form, their pairing will not be normal. Say for example, when adenine will be deaminated to hypoxanthine, then hypoxanthine will not pair normally as the A was pairing with the diamine, it will pair with the cytosine. So, AT to GC transition will be there. If the cytosine is deaminated to uracil, it will pair with adenine. So, normally in cytosine has to pair with the diamine, the guanine, but no, the adenine is it will pair with the adenine. So, it will again change the GCAT transition, it will affect the GCAT transition, and if the guanine is deaminated to xanthine, it will pair with the cytosine, because no, normal guanine is also pairing with the cytosine, and the xanthine after deamination of the guanine, the product is xanthine, the xanthine is also pairing with the cytosine. So, it means there is no transition, it will behave normally. And then you are having the radiations which affect the DNA. You have two types of radiations, the high energy radiations which are called the ionizing radiations, such as X-ray, gamma ray, cosmic ray. They break the covalent bond of the DNA. Covalent bond of the DNA are the bonds which basically connect, one strand of the DNA will have the nucleotide base, then it has the sugar, then it has the phosphate. So, nucleotide base this, then sugar, then phosphate, these are linked with the covalent bond. So, these radiations will break this covalent bond, and when the covalent bond is broken, so it means it will lead to the break in the DNA molecule. So, sometimes they may lead to a single strand break, sometimes they may lead to a double strand break, and basically the chromosomal mutation is basically maximally caused by the ionizing radiations. Then you have the non-ionizing radiations like UV. They form the abnormal dimer and bulge in the DNA. So, what is the abnormal dimer? That normally this diamine has to pair with this adenine, and this diamine has to pair with this adenine, but now because of the presence of this UV rays, because of the exposure of the DNA to the UV rays, the diamine of the same strand have paired with one another, thereby leading the two base at the opposite strand unpaired. So, here the dimer is formed, that is a link between the base of the same strand, which is not normal, because normally the one base has to pair with the base of the opposite strand. So, once this dimer will be formed, there will be a bulge out or the kink in the DNA, and this kink will not lead to a will not allow the normal replication and the transcription to takes place. As a result, the break in the DNA may takes place over there, and thus once the break is there, it means the mutation is there, and the basis of the DNA will not remain normal. So, it will not code for the normal protein or the normal amino acid. Thanks. This is all about the induced mutation in case of the DNA, or you can say the gene mutation that is caused by some known factors, so called the induced mutation.